You've probably heard of that word every now and then, or you've probably been guilty of it in the past. While doomscrolling is officially defined under Webster Dictionary as spending a lot of time online looking at sad news, the definition has slowly morphed into spending excessive time online scrolling through content, period. And you don't even like to do it either, but you still find yourself picking up your phone when you're bored to scroll. So, what gives? Why do we even scroll? Well, in this video, we'll cover why you doom scroll, how it affects you, and the steps you can put in place to reduce it. There are many reasons why you could be doom scrolling. One of them is procrastination. For example, this is Jeremy. It's Jeremy's first day of school today, and this is the work that he came home with. Let's see what Jeremy's brain is saying what to do.
Oh, hell no!
And now, Jeremy does what any rational human would do, and he starts watching split-screen Minecraft Reddit stories. What Jeremy just did is procrastination. When you procrastinate, your brain looks for something easy to do instead of the work that we want to do. And doom scrolling is not only easy, but gives you that instant reward compared to completing all the work that you need to do. You might ask, isn't that just laziness? It's not. Laziness is you looking at the work and deciding not to do it because you just don't want to do it. Procrastination is you wanting to do the work, but maybe later. This could stem from perfectionism, or you not wanting to do the work because you're tired, or you think it takes a lot of effort to start. Something that I personally do to combat this is I break the task into smaller, actionable steps. Going back to Jeremy, he could list the work that he got from school by priority, and then breaking each task down into smaller goals. Once you've done this, you just need to start. Force yourself to. This part can be really hard, but with a reframed set of mini goals, it helps you get past procrastination so you can get your work done. Another reason you could be scrolling is due to boredom or exhaustion. Firstly, exhaustion. This is something a lot of people do as well, but when people end off long days, they end up going on their phones and scrolling away. And that's odd because we use it to rest, but we end up scrolling forever and feeling more tired after scrolling. So why is that? In simple terms, your eyeballs have special cells to detect light and then report that light to your brain, specifically the suprachiasmatic nucleus, or the SCN for short. This is just a fancy name for your internal clock. The SCN looks at the light that your cells have given you and guesses whether or not it's currently daytime or nighttime, and then signals the pineal gland, a gland in the middle of your brain that produces melatonin, to either suppress or release melatonin. Melatonin is a hormone produced to signal to your body that it's time to sleep. So, when the sun starts to set over time, melatonin will be released more within your body. Okay, but what does that have to do with your phone? Well, your phone emits a special wavelength of light that your brain has evolved to associate with the morning sunlight. So, when you're tired and your SCN has already decided, hey, it's nighttime now, your eyes will see this light, show it to the SCN. The SCN will go, never mind, it is not nighttime now, and tells your pineal gland to suppress melatonin down so you feel more awake. To make sure your SCN doesn't get gaslit, rather than doom scrolling after a long day, try and wind down for the evening by doing tasks that don't require light from your screen, so you can enjoy a proper night's sleep. Boredom is a more common reason. I mean, think about it. Social media has become a part of our daily lives. We do it during our daily commutes, while waiting in lines, or even when we're supposed to be relaxing. We've trained ourselves to treat boredom like an emergency. Any moment without stimulation, our phone comes out. This can cause lack of social skills, creativity, or critical thinking over time.
If you dig a 6-foot hole, how deep is that hole?
It's about like 20 feet.
There are some scenarios of boredom that are different from others. For example, waiting on a bus compared to just having nothing to do in your room. We'll dive deeper into remedies for this later in this video. Finally, we'll talk about curiosity. As a species, we've evolved over time to be very curious people. We're afraid of missing out on something, whether it's news, a meme, a message, or what someone else is doing. Big social media companies know how your brain works, and can use this fear of missing out, or FOMO, to make you stay on the app. In fact, your urge to check your phone in the morning and opening the app without thinking are all things that the app has conditioned you to do over a period of time. Don't believe me? Let's say, for example, you open a social media app like TikTok. The first thing you're greeted with is a video. In fact, the UI is like 95% video, so you can't really ignore it. You look at the video and you don't really like what's playing. You scroll and you find a video you really enjoy, which releases a large amount of dopamine. You like the video to tell the algorithm, hey, give me more of this. And you scroll, and scroll, and you find another funny video. You like it again, and scroll, and scroll,
Let's go gambling!
and
Aw,
scroll,
dang it!
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 and
Aw,
scroll. Our social media is a glorified and normalized slot machine, and this was done intentionally. Every single scroll down to a new video is like pulling the lever on the slot machine, hoping for a dopamine hit. They've taken this design on purpose so you can feel a sense of a dopamine hunt while you look for the jackpot, which is the videos you like and find funny. The more you're aware of this, the more mindful you will be. Well, okay, so we know why we brainlessly scroll. Before we dive into the steps to fix this, do you know the long-term effects that happen to you when you scroll? One common result of long-term content consumption is brain fog. Studies have shown that you can develop cognitive overload, which is just a fancy way of saying your brain gets overwhelmed and starts to have a hard time deciding what matters and what doesn't matter. Your focus can dip and your memory can get fuzzy because your brain is so overworked. A big side effect from this over time, and you've probably noticed this yourself, is your attention span shrinks, and critical thinking can actually become harder to do. If you're scrolling when you're supposed to be working, it can also chip away at focus, motivation, and sense of progress for tasks you need to be doing, making you feel more exhausted. It also affects how happy you are and how happy you can be. To put it in simple terms, humans have a baseline level of emotions. As you go about your day, our levels can go up or down depending on what happens throughout it. So, when you scroll, what happens then? Well, we still get the dopamine rush, but our tolerance level will increase. So now, it takes you more time to feel the same way you felt prior, only increasing the tolerance more and more. Over time, it can be harder to feel happy feelings towards things, and your mood can be down more. So, knowing what happens when we scroll, how can we put steps in place to rewire the negative impacts in our brain? Now, before you fix these issues, you need to understand that not everybody fixes their content addiction at the same time, just based on how much the brain is affected. Some people may see changes within a couple days, some in a week, a month, and so on. However, during this period, you can't just delete your apps for a couple days and then go back on just to scroll again. It'll undo the progress that you've made. The whole purpose of this is to rewire your brain to find smaller tasks more rewarding and to gain more willpower and discipline towards these apps. Now you need to hear me out on this. What I recommend doing is deleting all of the apps. Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all of your favorite social media apps have to go. In doing this process, you also need to sit down and consider if YouTube is considered a problem app to you. If you see yourself using shorts, or just spending the time you would have doomscrolled on YouTube, then just delete it. The whole point is to rewire your brain to not need the constant stimulation from your phone. Now, obviously, deleting all these apps is easier said than done. You probably need some of these apps to communicate. A lot of these social medias have web versions you can use which can help you stay away from doomscrolling. If you ever need to use Instagram, for example, just use Instagram for web to communicate with people. But what if I need to use my phone to text? I've personally been using this app called Beeper Mini, not sponsored by the way, and for what I've used so far, it seems like a pretty good replacement. Essentially, it's an app that allows you to pair a bunch of social media apps together for messaging, like your regular text, WhatsApp, Instagram, Discord, the list goes on. It allows me to keep everything in one place so I don't need to install any other apps to see messages. If Beeper doesn't work for you, you can always just use the browser of your phone to go and access these apps. Trust me, they work fine. One pro tip I have with not only this but with other messaging apps is to disable notifications. It's important to not get back into doomscrolling by your chronically online friend. If you know that you cannot control any urges of watching altogether, I highly suggest not getting Beeper Mini and to just let people text and call you using regular text. Upon doing these changes, you'll also have to condition yourself to be okay with boredom. As mentioned earlier, society has made it really easy to fill in boredom with scrolling, but now that you have no scrolling, what do? A quick Google search tells you that boredom is lacking interest in what you're doing. Going back to what I was saying earlier, we have an emotional baseline that's in all sorts of whack right now, so we need to lower it. That doesn't mean you literally just stare at a wall all day. You should just replace your old instant gratification activities with activities that could also be instant gratification, but in ways that could help you grow. For example, maybe get back into a hobby that you once dropped or find something new to help you grow. I personally have been using my extra time to weightlift. It's an example of an instant gratification activity because you know that you're improving yourself every single day. You might say you don't have time, but let's be honest, your screen time probably looked like this. So trust me, Once you remove the hours you spent on your phone, you'll have extra time. You might ask, well, what if I'm bored and waiting at the bus stop? I can't pursue a hobby then. Yeah, you're right. In these cases, you can always supplement boredom with being more present. Taking the ambiance of where you are, maybe spark up a conversation with the person beside you. Hey, maybe even call or text somebody. The whole point of removing all the social media apps isn't to be anti social media. That isn't the point. It's to reset our baseline to not crave our phone for content to drown out the time. As mentioned earlier, seeing the benefits of this process is a case by case thing. Someone will feel great a couple days or weeks in, but it might take others months to even see the same benefits, and that's okay. As long as you take it day by day and find things to do in your spare time that help you grow as a person, you will have amazing benefits over time. Now that we've covered all of that, let's check back in on Jeremy. It looks like he's a bus driver now. No way, is Jeremy driving the subscribe bus?